Hey guys, welcome to day 4 of rchelicopterfun.com's flight school. Today we're taking day 3's ground hover exercises, and we're actually going to be getting into the air. So we're over our reference spot right now using the little Blade 400. Wind is really light right now, so it's pretty much perfect for that application. So we'll just spool her up here. And again, just like day 3's where we were sliding around on the ground, today we're going to be getting in the air. And day 3's exercise of the sliding around on the ground are going to get you kind of comfortable with trying to stay first off over that reference spot. One question I get asked a lot on my website is when you do take off, you'll notice the helicopter drifts to the left, at least with a clockwise rotating rotor blade. The reason for that is the tail rotor is pushing thrust out to the right, so it's causing the heli to drift left. It doesn't necessarily mean a trim issue. It's just on the ground, the bird can't tilt slightly. You'll notice when I'm actually in a hover, the heli's actually slightly tilted to the right, and that's giving a little bit of vector off the main rotor pointing to the right to compensate for the right push, or the left push from the tail rotor. So anyways, what we want to do today is just try to stay over that reference spot. Again, day 3 is really going to help for this. At first you're going to feel like you've got very limited control. You're going to be drifting all over the place, and something's just going to click. Eventually you're just going to be able to hold it over that spot. You don't want to get too high. Then we've got that really tame throttle and pitch curve, so if you get too high and you get into trouble, just reduce your throttle and you'll come down fairly light. You know, you don't want to rely on that, but if you do panic, you know, that'll bring it down with that tame pitch and throttle curve. So again, just kind of bounce it around. If there's a bit of a breeze out, you'll notice it'll bounce a little bit more. And you know, if it's drifting to the right, give it a little bit of left side click. You don't want to get going too fast. You do lower the throttle, get back on the ground. That's where the training gear is going to help you out. Keep it from tipping over. It'll allow you to slide. And that's why we want to be over pavement today. And so once you feel comfortable, like I said, something's just going to click, and all of a sudden it'll feel really quite comfortable keeping it over that reference spot. When you feel comfortable with that, now we'll start doing our forward and backwards, left and right, and diagonal movements. So we'll start with a forward here. And you want to be about maybe a foot in the air, no more than 2 feet. Try to keep it fairly close to the ground, nice and controlled. Give tail rotor commands to keep that nose pointed forward. And when you get about 10-15 feet out from the reference spot, slowly start bringing it back. Nice and slow, small stick commands. If it's gusty out, you're going to be bouncing around a bit like this. Again, that's why the little 400s are fairly good size. I don't recommend anything smaller because the wind just bounces them around too much. Now we'll come backwards. We won't come back quite as far because we're quite close to the reference spot. And hold it there for a bit. Go back over your reference spot. Hold it over reference spot. Now we'll go to the right. Again, we slight bits of right cyclic. Keep that nose pointed forward. When you get about 10-15 feet out, stop it, bring it back. If you're feeling stressed out or just something isn't feeling comfortable, just land the bird, take a rest. Rest is always necessary. Lots going on today. Your head now will go to the left. A little bit easier because the tail rotor is pushing us. And again, we'll come back over the reference spot. Going too fast, give a little bit of left side click to get it under, check the speed. I'll do a forward right diagonal. So here we're hooking both our forward and right cyclic commands together. And when you get about 10-15 feet out, stop it, hold it. I'll bring it back with a little bit of left and rearward cyclic. hooking both those commands together. Get it stabilized. Now we'll go to the left. A little bit of left cyclic, a little bit of forward cyclic. And I'm not holding it in continuously. I'm just giving small little commands. Once it starts moving too fast, I'll center my stick. Gets too fast, you have to give it an opposite or an opposing direction command to slow it. And it's just like floating around on a big sheet of glass or ice, or hovering on a big bubble of air, which is what we're doing. So now we'll go to the right backwards, diagonal. Here you're getting introduced with a little side-on orientation, so if it feels more comfortable, maybe as you're coming back, point the tail in towards you so you don't get disorientated. And we'll go back over our reference spot. Getting a little breezy now, so that's tossing the little 400 around. Now we'll come back to the left. And staying about a foot in the air. A little bit easier because the tail rotor is pushing us to the left. Holding it, and then going back over our reference spot. So that's pretty much what day 4 is all about. Just getting comfortable with hovering. You don't want to progress to day 5 yet until you feel really comfortable holding a solid hover and you're able to move it in all directions and stop it whenever you want. So today's all about just learning how to hover the bird, gaining control over it, and just moving in these forward, backwards, left, right, and diagonals. We'll really hone those skills. Always keeping the nose pointed forward or tail in orientation so you don't get disorientated. And with that, we will land and we will see you on day 5.